Greg Abbott and Donald Trump's house of cards in Texas is collapsing all around them. And it's not just the left that is saying it anymore. Top GOP strategist Karl Rove, of all people, was on Fox News to talk about just how much trouble the Republicans in Texas are in due to ICE. So let's see.
Support for President Trump's mass deportation policies may be declining. 61% of Americans in a new AP poll say they disapprove of the president's handling of immigration. That rises to 67% for independents. And 57% of voters in a new Quinnipiac poll say they disapprove of the way ICE is enforcing immigration laws. Why is this becoming unpopular?
Well, I think it's because Americans have a more forgiving attitude towards the people who have come here. Everybody knows somebody or thinks they know somebody who's part of that group. The guy who worked on, in the construction, or the woman who's serving as a health aide in a nursing home. I mean, we all think we know of or have heard stories about the people who have come here illegally, but have, as I said earlier, kept their nose clean and are contributing to our economy.
Well, Rove was asked specifically about how the change in support for the GOP among Hispanics might impact the midterm. So let's see what he had to say about that.
Does this drop in support among Hispanics, Karl, pose problems for Republicans in the midterm elections this year? But particularly one down in Texas, obviously we've seen this redistricting, which is expected to give 5 additional seats to the GOP in Texas. But there's some suggestion that some of the seats, were dependent on Republicans were dependent on a significant number of Hispanic voters. They may be losing those voters. Is that going to really hurt in November?
Oh, I believe so. Take the district that runs from Corpus Christi to Brownsville. Donald Trump carried the district, but he carried it by 1 point. So if his support is softening among Hispanics, that makes it unlikely that we're going to be able to knock off an incumbent Democrat.
Yeah, and new polling suggests that Karl Rove and others like him are right to worry about all this. New polling from CBS News shows that support among US Latinos for Trump has fallen to 38%, a marked decline from a high of 49% in early February following his return to the White House. And the CBS poll found that 70% of Latinos disapprove of Trump's handling of immigration, well above the national average of 58%. And just a note, about 31 to 32% of eligible voters in Texas are Hispanic. So for Trump to lose this particular demographic in the South, in states like Texas, that is really, really not a good outlook, not just for him, but also for GOP members who are up for re-election or for election in November. And Trump, we know, has played with the idea of maybe just canceling the midterms outright because, I guess we're at war now. So he thinks that that's the thing that he can do. But there's a lot of things that Trump can do, and it seems as though he will do them to sway things in his favor and in the favor of the GOP for the midterms. But a lot of some of these obstacles do feel too big for him to overcome. What do you think, Brett?
Yeah, you can tell Trump, at least on some level, knows that he's losing. That's why he's doing so much right now. It was a miracle for him to achieve any uptick in support among Latin American voters. And I think one thing that could be responsible for the shedding of support among that group is the fact that we're seeing so many people who fit that description being accosted by the police, even though they're citizens, because they fit a description. I understand if you came in legally and other people cut the line, you're probably upset at people who came in and cut the line and make life worse for you, right? By your estimation. But what does the enforcement of that look like on a daily basis? Well, it's masked men roaming the streets, grabbing you and pulling you out of your car, throwing you on the ground. You say, I have my passport, I have my social security card, and them saying, I don't care. Get in the paddy wagon, I'm taking your phone, and I'm gonna drop you off at a Walmart somewhere.
Yeah,
and I mean, yeah.
No, I mean, it's hard for them to defend what is happening and what we can see on people's cameras. And for a while, what was even more interesting is not just that ICE was going after people who Trump said they weren't going to be going after, right? They're going after legal people. They're going after legal people so hard that they're going to their courthouses and their court dates to try and find them there, right? So that's how much they're not going after the same people that he said he was going to go after. He promised criminals and gang members, and instead we got Home Depot workers and mothers and children, right? So that is very, even for Republicans who voted for Trump because they still think that they're good people, even though they support this administration, that is a hard pill for those particular people to swallow. And what ends up happening, from what I've seen in my personal experience, my personal life, what ends up happening is they just don't look at it. They just pretend that it's not happening, or they pretend that it's overblown, or they pretend that it's being misreported. But whenever you look at the polling, you do see that people are responding. They are paying attention. They are noticing things, even if those things are uncomfortable for them and they're saying, no, that's not what I want. Maybe they would even say, I still support this administration, but I wish you would stop doing this, right? Which is fine. But the thing is, he's already in office. And so he's just gonna keep doing whatever he wants for the next 3 years because you already gave him the green light and you already gave him the okay to act on your behalf.
When your company is growing fast, damage control is essential, especially in order fulfillment. Before ShipStation, we'd spend hours tracking orders and following up with customers. Now, our team has cut that time in half. With ShipStation, you can basically let your shipping go on autopilot because it's just that easy now. The problem is usually too many disconnected tools. ShipStation solves that core problem. It's an intelligence-driven platform that brings order management, rate shopping, inventory, returns, and analytics all into one place. Connect to over 200 sales channels. And instead of 5 to 7 confusing apps, you've got just one command center. And here's the best feature. It compares rates from USPS, UPS, and FedEx, including your negotiated discounts, to find the best option for every order with savings up to 90% off. Already have carrier rates? Bring them. Keep your discounts and add ShipStation's automation. Set up rules once and ShipStation picks the best carrier, finds the best rate, prints labels in bulk, and even sends tracking updates. Those tracking updates alone cut customer service inquiries by 12%. Plus, their returns management and analytics show you exactly what's coming back and where you can optimize. Try ShipStation free for 60 days with full access to all features, no credit card needed. Go to ShipStation.com and use code DAMAGE for 60 days for free. 60 days gives you plenty of time to see exactly how much time and money you're saving on every shipment. That's ShipStation.com, code DAMAGE. ShipStation.com, code DAMAGE.